Hi everyone, this is Jeje and welcome to Be Colorful. Today I'm going to propose you a very nice project, a shadow book card. This will be the first video of a small series where we will create this particular card together. In fact, I will propose you different styles for different occasions. In the video, I'm going to show you how to create the basic structure of this card that look like a small book. As for decorations, in this case the card will have an elegant and essential style, perfect for weddings. In particular, I'm going to use the Tonic Craft Kit number 22. But you can decorate it as you like and with what you have at home. So let's create the card base. First, on some ivory cardstock, I'm going to create the inner part of the book, cutting out a rectangle measuring 5.5 by 8.25 inches. With my scoreboard, I'm going to create a fold line at 3.75 inches and another at 4.25 inches. There will therefore be ½ inch of distance between these two lines. Then I make a third line at 8 inches. Finally, I'm going to fold well, following the lines I just created. And here is the inside of the book. Let's move on to creating the cover, for which I'm going to use watercolor paper, simply because I like the texture of this type of paper. You can use regular cardstock if you prefer. So I cut out a panel that is always 5.5 by 8.25 inches. I'm going to make two fold lines, one at 4.375 and the other at ½ inch apart, which is 4.78. After folding the paper following the newly created lines, I get the basic structure, which we can decorate as we like. As I already said, I'm going to use the dies of the Tonic Craft Kit 22, but you can use any frame, even of different shapes. In the next shadow books videos that I will propose to you, I'll show you variations and you will see that you don't need special dies to obtain similar results. Now, on the inside, I'm going to create a window. Be careful where you die cut because there is a front and a back, and also a precise direction. To decorate the cover, I decided to create a semi-oval with two layers. The first layer will have this floral decoration and will be pearlescent ivory. The second layer will have smooth edges, and I'm going to die cut the figure on white cardstock. To add details but keeping the card quite subtle, we can decorate the panel with an embossing folder. To emboss with embossing folders, follow the instructions of your die cutting machine. In the case of the C6 Big Shot, you have to put the base number 1, the embossing folder with the paper inside, and the acrylic plate. In this case I'm using a 3D embossing folder, so I don't need to put the second acrylic plate because these types of embossing folders are thicker than the normal ones, and the normal sandwich, as you can see, doesn't pass through the roller. Okay, now I'm going to glue the embossed panel onto the pearlescent ivory panel. I cut out the excesses, and before I glue everything on the cover, I'm going to add 2 layers of cardstock, just to give a nice dimension to this panel. For the sentiment on the cover, I decided to use the Tonic Craft Kit 35. I'm going to stamp a day 2 with the VersaFine Onyx Black, and I'm going to do a heat embossing with the clear embossing powder, obtaining a shiny and slightly embossed writing. Then I'm going to die cut the sentence by creating a strip of paper. And complete the sentiment with the word remember by using one of the dies from the kit 35 and die cutting the letters on pearlescent ivory cardstock. With the coordinated die included in the Tonic Craft Kit 35, I'm going to create the base on ivory cardstock, on which I glue the letters of the word remember. I add some pearlescent ivory edges to a day 2. And I'm going to glue everything on the cover, adding pieces of paper so that everything is nice and level, without therefore horrible gaps. So now let's move on to decorate the inside. I'm going to die cut the sentiment congratulations on ivory pearlescent paper. Pay close attention to the direction of this panel. So I'm gonna create the background using this stamp from the Tonic Craft Kit number 10. It is just a stamp that has various writings, such as congratulations, celebrate, in different fonts. I'm going to stamp several times with the Versamark clear ink, covering the whole background, and doing a heat embossing with this gorgeous pearlescent embossing powder. Now, with some vellum, I'm going to create a base for the word congratulations. Okay, it's time to join the two parts of the shadow book card, gluing the bottom of the book on the inside of the cover, in particular on the right side. After that, I'm going to glue the flap exactly on the creasing of the cover. Perfect, now we can add a few more details. For example, I'm going to die cut some small pearlescent ivory flowers. After modeling the little flowers with this paper modeling set, I'm going to glue them here and there inside the shadow book card. I glue congratulations inside the frame. And I'm going to add some silver gems in the center of the flowers and some on the outside of the card as well, thus giving a little elegant touch. Another cute decoration for a shadow book is to add some sort of label on the side. I'm going to use one of the dies of the Tonic craft kit number 28, in which we find many small rectangle dies to decorate the heart-shaped boxes that can be created with this kit. Some of these small dies create an embossing decoration on the paper. Very nice. Okay, now on the back of the shadow book card, I'm going to add a pocket where we can insert a tag where we can write the greeting message. On three of the sides of the pocket, I'm going to glue strips of paper. In this way, I'm gonna create a thickness that will allow easier insertion of the tag. On the tag, I'm going to create a small tab using a special die of the Tonic Craft Kit number 15. Finally, I'm going to stamp and emboss the wedding date. Next, I'm going to create the coordinated envelope to hold the card using the envelope punchboard by We Are Memory Keepers. I look for the measures of the card on the tables, the ones that come closest at least. Keep in mind that this type of card is quite thick, so you need to abound a little with the measures. So I opted for an envelope that can hold a 5 by 6.5 inches card. Following the directions, I'm going to cut the paper into a 9.25 by 9.25 square. Also in the table, in the third column of the row we have chosen, we find at what point we have to place the sheet of paper on the ruler of the board, in this case at 4 inches. With the bone folder, I'm going to make the first fold line, which we find by positioning the bone folder exactly here. And I'm going to punch it. Then I'm going to align the fold line on this kind of tail. I make the fold line and punch. Line up the new fold line, trace, and punch. Align, trace, and punch. I fold along the fold lines. If you want, you can round the corners. And I glue in this way. I then cut out a panel to apply on the closing flap of the envelope, on which I'm going to do a cold embossing with the same embossing folder that I used to decorate the front of the shadow book card. To decorate the envelope a bit too, I'm going to die cut a few flowers on the ivory pearlescent paper with the same dies I used before. And why not? I'm also creating a postage stamp to apply on the back. And this was the first of the shadow book cards that I will propose to you. I hope you enjoyed this project. It seems like a complicated process, but I can assure you that it is only a little long, as I have added a lot of details, but in itself this type of card is not too difficult to make, and the final result is beautiful. As you have seen, I've dusted off quite a few old Tonic Studios kits, proving that many are quite versatile. Obviously, I used those dies because I have them, so I decided what to do based on what I have. If I had other frames from other brands, I would have used those. In fact, I used embossing folder and floral dies from C6, dies from AliExpress, gems collected, I don't know, from cheap shops. So in short, you have the video part where I show you how to create the card base of the shadow book card. For the rest, get inspired by what you have in your stash. Now I greet you and I give you an appointment at the next video. Thank you all, bye bye and be colorful!